Welcome to fucking Tuesdays. Special guest, Dave, the deacon.
Special guest. What can I say?
Yeah, I guess it's fucking Tuesday again. Here we go. Disclaimer, any legal advice you might hear on this show, please do your own research. Because I guarantee if you tell a judge, well, that dude on that weird podcast said, you're still probably going to go to jail.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yep. Nobody's a lawyer.
Not just legal advice, probably any advice.
Yeah, but we've covered
Just,
that. I'm going to go specifically for this
shit out.
episode. Okay. I'm done.
Okay, this show's over.
No.
All right, that was a
your
good one.
turn.
I was going to say, that was kind of
I'll have this edited and released tonight.
Really glad that we got that knocked out like that.
Yeah. It's fun
It's
when an
that
episode
easy.
goes well. Okay. Holistic health then.
Sure.
Holistic health.
So the concept is like a healthy mind has healthy emotions, lives in a healthy body. Like you can't have physical health without mental, emotional, spiritual, that whole. So like it's all tied together. So that's one of the reasons like this national opioid epidemic is such a big problem, because they're treating physical pain and nothing else. But they're using that to treat the mental and the all that shit.
Yeah.
Hippie shit. But they were onto something, man. There's a reason hippies are so beautiful.
Dude, there's places like you ever heard of Lost River Hostel?
Maybe.
So it's like, I mean, that's what it is. Those people, there's like a group of them, and they kind of come live there. So people can come and go, but it's like you're going to commit a certain amount of time to helping do different tasks. I mean, you're there they've got like, since they've started, I think it's like a maze they built, like with hedges, and they've got, I mean, like these tree houses that they can go. They were, the reason I know about this place is actually, the guy had gotten a hold of me and wanted me to look at a hole that was in the ground there that he wanted to make a meditation room.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally just, there was no rock at all. It was just literally just like a hole in some mud with some water running through it. I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't stick my head in there and dig on that if I were you.
No.
It's probably not going to work in your favor. So I don't think that exists. But the place does, and it's a weird bunch, man.
Hippies. I mean, I might have to go check it out.
It's a weird bunch. It's a strange dynamic. I went there, my kids were there once.
So, I mean, as opposed to normal, weird's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I'm not saying weird's bad by any means at all. I mean, I'd rather see an Amish person than a...
Dude, almost every time I see an Amish person, it's because I've almost run over them in my car.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not
99%
the best
of
at, like, letting you know that they're there when they're driving down the road in their black buggy.
At 11 o'clock at night.
Well,
With
every
a
day.
candle.
Every
But
day
they
I
had
hear
a candle.
one.
But it's
Yeah.
blacked out with the red.
Yeah.
Impossible to see.
They need a bigger candle.
They need
I
an
hear a
electric
horse and
candle.
buggy go by the house every day. Well, when I'm home and not at work.
Okay, so here's one. Why the candle? I mean, these dudes have flashlights. They use those all the time.
I don't...
Isn't that an option?
We can't do the Amish thing again.
Let's leave it out.
Well, we were
can't
talking
do
about it as like the religious aspect.
Oh.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
a
most
weird
part.
one.
Dude, it's all of it. It's all so weird.
Well, they do the holistic.
They do?
health, don't
And I'm not
They
saying
do
it.
to an extent, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
It's
Because
just strange. Very queer.
my sister-in-law, her mother had cancer, and she went and saw an Amish guy, and he took a look and told her that she needs to drink carrot juice, if I remember correctly. And so she started doing that, and I guess it helped.
Yeah. So I think that's the fun part of medicine, though. Like, you just have to convince your mind that your body is getting healthier,
Oh yeah, I mean,
and it will.
Well, yeah, it's all part of it.
Absolutely.
Like
I mean,
keeping-
look at that's how they do the tests with all the drugs. It's the whole point. I mean,
Well, I'm fairly certain the best cure for cancer is the placebo. They
Yeah.
convince you it's some revolutionary drug,
Well, I mean, even
and you don't
doctors
have
will
all
tell
the
you
side
that.
effects.
absolutely, man. I mean, motivation to live is that's a lot of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, then just the thought of having some miracle cure, even if it's just a sugar pill. Somebody just has to convince you you're going to get better. And I'm not saying every single
there's always
time.
going to be better results in that scenario in any given
Oh, yeah.
situation, no matter what it is. If you're going into something positive and thinking that you're going to have these great results, then you're going to have way better results than walking in there thinking that everything's going to suck. But it's all a mindset.
It's not easy with something like cancer. Cancer's a scary word, scary disease.
Well, I mean, the mindset's a lot of it, but doing the physical things like eating the carrots and like just doing the healthy tasks, little things, taking the walk every day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like those all contribute.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's hard. I mean, especially now during the pandemic, because obviously you're on these drugs that affect your whole system.
Yeah.
So
and
you
doing
catch
nothing.
anything, it's going to mess you up. So you get COVID while you're on your chemo and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to be bad.
So COVID is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, getting out to like exercise and take your walks and whatever, can't do that.
everything sucks.
Yeah.
2022. Like cancer just sucks more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the same. I don't know.
Across the table, man, everything sucks more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to be all salty and jaded about it. Like,
I like that it costs more now to drive to the places that suck more, since we got to pay more for gas too.
well,
God, it's ridiculous.
World War III is shaping up nicely.
It's kind of cute.
I mean, I'm glad they do the battle lines over there. Hopefully they'll stay over there.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm expecting it to start as a Civil War II and then turn into a Revolutionary War. And then World War III gets real spicy.
Like in Russia?
No, here.
Here?
Yeah.
Think there'll be a civil war here again?
Yeah, probably.
Was that my laptop or your phone?
Probably my phone.
Okay, I was going to say, I've never heard my laptop make that noise before.
It might be a new thing. You never
No,
know.
it happens every fucking time. I always forget to turn my phone down.
I don't
So
know. You should get your
unprofessional.
shit together.
Dude, I still got the whiteboard open. Nice.
Holistic health. That's where we're at, man. We're still
Yeah,
in that.
but dude, I get bored on one topic. That's why it's really.
Well, so here's my question. On that. So, is it a one and done solution? Is like holistic health? That's your only way to go, or do you?
Sort of. I mean, and most real holistic professionals will tell you to go see an actual medical doctor, and then
Oh, yeah.
when you start to disagree with their diagnosis, I'm not saying not
The
to
science
take
is
it,
part of it.
but yeah, you definitely want to at least get their advice
So who you listen to then?
yourself.
No, I'm saying in the end game.
Well, I
whenever
mean,
you
there's-
got this person saying one thing and this person saying another thing. If those two things don't,
I would say at least get
who you listening to?
at least two oncologists, two professional, go to two major. Like if you've got real bad, if they're telling you have stage 3, stage 4 cancer, at least get two oncologists' opinion.
I mean,
And then go from there.
Sure,
if they both
yeah,
tell
absolutely.
you prognosis is one round of chemo and then you're done. Like I might even try the chemo if it was one round. But if they tell you, we're extending your life by a year per round, then I'm gonna start looking at an alternative.
okay. So what
homeopathic
about like countries that have treatments that are effective that we can't use because we're in the United States and they won't let us?
See, now you're talking the system again. The United States medical is as corrupt and screwed
Oh,
up
yeah.
as
It's
the insurance
making
companies.
money, that's all it is.
It's
The
everything's for
justice system.
profit. Everything's
Well,
for
the insurance
profit, man.
companies is what fucked up hospitals for everybody.
Everything's for
So
profit.
insurance
Absolutely.
is the most profitable. If you get 100 people to pay you like $100 a month, and if they wreck their car, you'll fix it.
Yeah.
You just gotta hope that not very many people wreck their cars. So you put these real. Well, we're not gonna. You wreck your car.
Well, the
every
people who
3
wreck their
months.
cars a lot, they
Yeah.
have to pay more.
Yeah, or they don't get insured.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a huge
So
racket.
that's how you cover your ass as the insurance
Yeah.
company. Yeah. And it's the same with medical, too.
Absolutely.
Like
It's
before
across the
medical
board,
insurance
everything.
was a thing, hospitals weren't that expensive. But then insurance got involved and it was like, you need to start charging more money. And now basically the hospitals get whatever procedure, whatever product, equipment, whatever, and they can charge you whatever they
It's a
want.
middleman. Straight up. I mean, it's no more than that.
Somebody's got to make money,
Yeah.
and it can't be the person that went to all the school.
The markup is
Some insurance
insane.
companies get better discounts from hospitals than other insurance companies, so your bill's based on whatever. I mean, it's just It's nuts.
Yeah, you get a little over-the-counter dose of aspirin at the hospital, and it's going to cost you
Oh yeah.
more than an entire bottle of said aspirin from the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Speaking of doctors, got my teeth cut out.
Yeah, sounds like a good time. You still got the teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, can make some
I don't
jewelry.
know where they're at. The
I already saw the
dentist-
picture. I don't want
The
to.
dentist said they were majestic. Swear to God,
That's
use
cute.
the
That's
word,
a cute word.
majestic.
How do you call some fucked up teeth
Have you seen them?
majestic?
Dude, the
Yeah,
roots
you
on
sent
them.
me a
I've got-
picture of them.
I've got
Like
extra
I'm picturing
roots.
like unicorn teeth.
I've
Extra
got
roots.
roots on my roots, man.
That's just great, man. That
makes
sounds
them-
like it would
Yo,
have
dog,
been
I heard
really
you like
bad
roots.
to have
You
it
put
pulled
roots
out.
on your roots.
I've got a 2-inch gash in my gum.
It seems like you would have been better off with smaller roots for the said problem.
They were really good at
Fair
keeping them
point.
in there.
I mean,
Until the teeth shattered.
Mm,
Wasn't a good time.
all them roots probably shattered.
No, it's the grinding them in my sleep. That's bad.
Get you one of those
Dude,
fancy big
don't
mouthpieces.
grind your teeth. Relax your jaw.
I don't clench. Well, I don't grind my teeth. I tend to clench my jaw.
I'm talking
just
to my
sleep
best
with a
friend
ball
here.
gag.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. You can talk to your best friend.
Just sleep with a ball gag. Just,
I don't even own a ball gag, Dave.
well, fucking,
Don't
you gotta
lie.
start somewhere, man.
Dude,
We know you're into that kinky shit.
You gotta start somewhere, dude. It just, I mean,
Start simple.
I'm not saying I haven't owned a ball gag. I'm saying I don't currently.
I feel like with that, you wouldn't have to worry about grinding your teeth. Problem solved. Holistic health. Got
I
it.
mean,
Ball game. Holistic health. I like it. Write a prescription for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
sounds
I have a problem
uncomfortable.
grinding my teeth.
You know, it's going to be all right, though. That you'll learn to live with that uncomfortable.
I guess you'll have to have it padlocked on.
I mean, yeah. Again, they have like mouthpieces and stuff like that you can wear that will protect your
I mean,
teeth.
there's
but
about
you,
900.
Nah.
you have this big fucking mouthpiece in your mouth.
Yeah,
It's-
strapped
this-
on
Still
there.
better.
You can't take it off if you wanted to.
I mean,
You
I
grind your
have
teeth.
severe sleep apnea. All right, there's two kinds. One, your soft palate collapses and blocks your airway. The second one is your brain just forgets to breathe.
That's cute.
So
wish
I
could.
have both.
Oh, that's awesome.
So my body is actively trying to kill me when I sleep.
Awesome.
So now I have to wear a CPAP, which is this mask that goes over your mouth and your nose and straps around your head. They have
couldn't
some that are
sleep
just your
with one,
nose, some
dude.
that are just your mouth. See, I was so bad that I was working at
before
Bloomington
you-
at the time. I would leave work, I'd get on 37, and I would wake up as I was getting to Bedford. I would sleep most of the, like I've driven it so many times that I was basically
Yeah.
sleeping for that drive.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah, that's
I'd be
crazy.
talking to my wife and just fall asleep. And then she'd be like, hey, wake up, you fell asleep.
God.
That's how
That
bad
shit
it
was
was.
funny.
And then, like, just getting to wear the CPAP and be able to breathe in my sleep, it didn't matter. I was out as
Yeah.
soon as it was on.
That's
It's
crazy.
Like
See,
the-
it drive me nuts with it on my face.
I did the sleep study. I thought the same thing, but I did the sleep study and I fell asleep and they woke me up in like not even 10 minutes. And they're like, yeah, you need to put this on because you're going to die. Apparently, I was having like 90 episodes a minute or something like that,
Wow.
which sounds insane. I don't know how I can do that, but
Jesus.
it was like that bad. I probably wasn't too far off from a stroke or a heart attack.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, if it's that severe, the mask won't make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather sleep with a mask on and breathe than not breathe, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, like, the difference, like, your body doesn't care about the difference of wearing a mask when
Yeah.
before you didn't have anything because you're so sleep deprived that you
Yeah,
just
sure.
fell asleep and then you're pretty much used to it
Yeah.
after a week.
I'm sure you'd be probably scared as shit to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, that was not fun. I don't really think there's anything in holistic health for CPAP, or not CPAP, but apnea.
There definitely is. Okay, I can't.
Intubated airway with a big ink pen.
Well, I mean, I don't know that that's holistic health. That's definitely another option.
Sorry.
Just have somebody sit up next to you all night, and when you
Slap
stop
you.
breathing, they're like,
No, I was thinking more like elevated sleeping or something, like with your
Yeah.
face pointed straight down.
well, that would probably help with like the collapsing
The
soft
collapsing.
palate, but forgetting to breathe, that's
See that?
It
That's
It
all-
doesn't help.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's all going to make a difference till you're dead.
You know the lupus
I mean-
conversation where you just have to convince your brain that it's going to do something? I don't know. I'm not claiming to be any sort of holistic health doctor. Just saying I'm sure there is something. Like, obviously people survived with conditions like this before CPAPs, or maybe they didn't. I'm sure a few creative ones came up with something.
Yeah.
Because CPAPs
Inversion
are what,
table.
the 80s?
That's got to be the answer. Just sleep upside down like a bat.
All the blood rush to your head, you probably wouldn't wake up.
It's fine, man. You just flip back over and go.
Just set an alarm for like every
Yeah.
hour or so and set
Yeah.
up for 5 minutes and
Yeah.
go
That
back.
would probably tax your heart pretty
I would
bad.
imagine.
Like 8 hours.
Have you ever been on one of those things?
Yeah, they're terrible. Every time I hurt myself. I'm too
It's
tall for your average
madness.
inversion table.
I'm scared.
They're
It's
not.
scary.
I've thought about using it just to stretch my back out.
It sounds super
Yeah,
nice
that's what
until you puke.
That's my worry too, is that I'm too tall. I'm just going to like lean back and just smack the back of my head off the floor or something.
I mean, I had one, and I did use it for a while, and it didn't really help that much. Like they act
It
like
just
it's
make
some
me want to
miracle.
puke.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It's just an uncomfortable way to go about something. No thanks. Hanging by my ankles. Got a fucking pig or something.
It'd be a compromising position for anyone to come into the house.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? I guess you could swing at him.
Just when you ninja flip back up and throw it at them.
You ninja flip back up, then all of a sudden you're lightheaded because all the blood.
Yeah,
just
you have a
rushes
head
in your
rush,
You're
fall down in front
Give me a
of
minute.
Fall on the ground. Oh.
Three
But that
ninjas
reminded me
with
of
nunchucks.
Back to the Future too, when they walk into the house and his dad's like in that contraption upside down floating because he threw his back out playing golf or something.
Those were great movies.
Yeah, they were.
Holistic health. Like,
I think most people think of it as just like using natural cures instead of going to the doctor.
that's alternative medicines.
Yeah.
That's holistic health is a completely different thing.
Yeah,
It means like you know you're struggling mentally, so you're just going to try to push through it. That's fine, but if you can only really give up one area at a time. Like you can't use, well, my mental's failing, so I'm not going to eat.
yeah,
Like compounding.
Yeah.
You got a direct exponential level of fucked when you start letting multiple of the holistic slip.
yeah. I think holistic health is interesting.
Me too, but it's such a huge category. Like it can just
It
stay
is.
there. We could do 10 minutes a week on that for the next 3 years probably.
Yeah.
I think it's misunderstood.
It's a mindset. I mean, it really
Yeah.
is. You're looking at it from the outside in instead of just one angle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not looking at just what kind of pills are you going to give me.
Well,
Yeah.
some of the medicines work, man. Like, if you're in constant chronic pain from surgery for like the first week, I don't care if you're comatose on painkillers. Like,
Okay,
you can abuse
hold
the
on.
shit out of them.
Let me ask you something though. So it helps then, right? But what if 10 years from now I told you that those painkillers that you took caused cancer and now you're dead?
Well, that would suck.
Because how many TV commercials do you see right now where it's all these different medicines? This is FDA approved bullshit that somebody said was okay to take, and now you're dying.
I try
or
not to take
somebody
any of it, man.
else died. That's. So I mean, is medicine the answer in the moment? Sure, maybe. I mean, you might in the moment make it better, but in the long run, is it gonna?
So that's the cool part about the homeopathic stuff. Like garlic, very rarely. I don't think it causes cancer. It's pretty natural.
I mean, I
I can't promise you it doesn't. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they're like, if you eaten Monsanto garlic, well, probably.
Call the hammer.
That's not going to give you cancer.
I mean, I
It's
hope
just-
not.
they're just-
GMOs.
They're just messing with things so it can grow and
And
Put
you-
GMO on
The other thing that
That's a
blows my
fun
mind
one.
with the medicine, you see that
with less water or something.
not
like
only
that.
do you have the commercials with all the, did you take this medicine, you or a loved one do this or that, or that, but then you got the other ones that are like advertising the medicine. And you're like, oh, do you have whatever? And then they start reading the side effects and it sounds significantly fucking worse than whatever
God,
you
yes.
had before.
Yeah.
So-
my favorite
What?
thing is like you've never had a prescription for this, but the very last thing they say is if you're allergic to this,
Yeah,
don't
take
take
it if you're allergic
How
to
the
it.
hell am I supposed to know if I'm allergic to it? I've never taken it.
Yeah, those
Great
commercials,
advice,
they're
though.
great, man.
So do you
It's
know
like-
why all of the symptoms are so, like, why there's anal seepage on all of them?
Oh God,
Because the
That's like a weird
the
term.
lab rats.
anal seepage.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
the,
know how
the
they-
lab rats that they test this on, these are people, and I shouldn't make fun of them probably, but a lot of these people get in 4 or 5 of these studies at the same time, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna wreak havoc.
And any symptom they have during the study, whether it's pill related or not, has to be reported.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
So imagine the people that are on 5 different drug trials.
Well, even if it was just
There's
the one, the
seepage.
chances of you having that
Yeah. Oh no.
are
Yeah.
slim to none anyway.
Well, odds are it
But,
didn't have anything to do with that pill.
Yeah.
Like they just had anal seepage.
I mean, most of the
Unfortunate.
most of the side effects they're telling you and they're talking about you're not going to have anyway. But
Yeah.
if you
but
did,
you might.
I mean, that's just
May cause death.
They
yeah,
can't say
the
you won't.
insanity of like, oh, I've got psoriasis, but so I can take this pill, but it might paralyze me and fucking kill me.
Yeah, but your psoriasis will clear
Yeah,
right
but
up.
my skin looks great.
You look great in the casket. Jesus.
And then the fucking
Everything.
attorney's commercial 5 years later comes on, and
If your loved one
There's
Passed
third,
away using
your
this
third
medication.
cousin somehow cashes in on your ass having taken some weird drug.
GMOs are fun.
going
too.
GMOs first,
I don't know.
I think that's something else that's misunderstood.
Oh, completely.
Like people think it's something new.
Humans are
and
GMOs.
dangerous. Yeah. Most of the
Like your kids,
Yeah.
you genetically modified their parents. Congratulations, you selectively bred them.
like, do you think that there were
GMO.
like hundreds of different kinds of apples like 100 years ago?
So supposedly, yeah, regionally, like
And
they would
that's
only travel as far as the.
I mean, there's all kinds of different stuff.
There are all kinds of different stuff regionally, yes, but not to the extent that there is now. Like there are, I don't know how many different kinds of apples there are. That was just the first thing that came to mind because there's
I don't know if there would be more or less now because I know like
well, they're coming out with,
volume-wise.
like new breeds, I guess.
But when you look at the other angle, like what they try to do with corn and everything else, it's one thing. Like
Yeah.
you know how easy it would be from a terroristic threat side of it to eliminate the entire.
It's really complicated though. You'd have to.
Somebody
you'd have to
thought of it, so
genetically-
somebody could think of the fucking other
Yeah, they
side.
could,
I mean,
but-
it's how it
Dude,
works.
it's such a niche thing though. How many people really care about manipulating corn genetics?
Sorry, I just wanted to look up like the apple thing I was talking about. There are 7,500 different kinds of apples.
That's insanity.
It seems like too many. I was
don't
expecting
know.
like 20.
Yeah, that's 7,500 kinds.
That's
of
why I
apples.
picked apples.
Is that
because I knew
globally,
there was
though?
a
It's
shit ton.
overwhelming.
Yeah, probably.
I wonder what that was 1,000 years ago.
In the United States alone, there are 2,500 different types of apples.
That's excessive.
Honeycrisp is probably the best one.
No.
And if you disagree, I really don't care because you're
Granny
wrong.
Smith,
No.
sour. I'm a 6-year-old dude. I like sour apples.
No, they're good. Honeycrisp is better.
No, they're,
Honeycrisp are pretty good.
they're
Yeah.
not. They're
They're hard
they're
to beat.
okay, but they're not Granny Smith.
You
One
probably
of
like Pink Lady because it's kind of sweet like a Honeycrisp, but it has a little tartness to it.
There are too
Sounds
many types.
intriguing.
There are too many types of apples at this point.
Golden Delicious.
You're not
Granny
going to name all
Smith.
7,500.
It's like
there.
a. It's
I'm
like
working
a-
on it. Just give me a few hours. Gala.
You're like the fucking dude on Forrest Gump.
Bubba?
Oh God. Yeah. Fried shrimp salad, shrimp etouffee, fried shrimp, broiled shrimp.
No, every kind of goddamn apple there was. Just ramble them off.
So, I mean, GMOs, probably not a good thing for the reasons listed. But it's also feeding 7-8 billion people.
And it's making them like more resistant to infestation by insects,
Ridiculous.
Absolutely.
plague, or whatever it is.
Dude, when I was a kid, I would come. I didn't live in Indiana, but when we come here, my grandpa had a farm, and I always thought it was the coolest shit in the world to go out and like on the farm and do. I got ride on the tractor, you know what I mean? It was cool. I had a blast with it, and I always remember him telling me that with the corn being knee high by the 4th of July. That's what you want your corn to be. Dude, that shit is like 6 foot tall on the
Yeah.
4th of July at this point. I mean, that shit. You give it a couple weeks, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy to think. I mean, you got these farmers that are out there getting multiple crops a year instead of one. There's a lot more people to feed. You're going to have to fix.
Well, the
Yeah.
bushel per acre, man, is getting ridiculous.
I mean, the amount of food and feed and
Well, yeah, and then you got
all the demand
Jimbo that
for it.
wants to drive from Indy to Evansville in 15 minutes faster, so you're taking hundreds of thousands of farm acres away from people so you can put a road in.
Yeah.
Because he just needs to get there a little quicker.
We can transport the corn faster too.
Yeah, this is what's up. So here we go.
But I mean, people want to complain about using chemicals to treat the plants and stuff like that. 'Cause, I mean, this is food that you're eating, and it has all these chemicals and pesticides and stuff on it. People don't like that, so they have GMOs that they'll alter the genes of the plant to make it resistant to the insects and
Do you know how they do that?
Science.
Sort of.
Fuck
what
yeah.
I was
So
thinking,
they
yeah.
actually they selectively breed. They take a plant
Yeah.
that has the characteristics
I mean,
they
that's why
want
we
and then
have all these
crossbreed it.
dog breeds and stuff too.
Yeah, you can get a fucking snickerdoodle or whatever they're called
But-
and charge like $700 for it.
Yeah.
Everybody always imagines somebody splicing DNA with CRISPR or something. No,
No, you just
they
put two plants
they-
together.
Yeah,
Pollinate,
Well, I mean,
cross-pollination.
it's fancier than that generally.
is.
But
I mean, there's multiple ways that they splice these plants together.
Yeah, there's just this little guy in a factory somewhere with some weird goggles on that are actually magnifying glasses just putting shit together. Just one dude.
so Floyd Pruitt.
Yeah.
Okay, so the facts I know about Floyd Pruitt.
We'll start with who Floyd Pruitt is.
He is
Let's see, yeah.
one of the things that I know for a fact is that he is no longer alive and hasn't
Well,
been in
yeah.
a very long time.
He's dead. He died.
He died. I know this from his headstone that is somewhere.
It's old. Okay.
Tell him, yeah, wherever that it's Bonds Chapel,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's at Bonds Chapel, which is sort of Orange / maybe Martin County. I don't know, man. It's just right on the line.
Okay, so Floyd Pruitt lived 1894 to 1920. Was in the Charlie Company of the 12th Division of the 35th MC Battalion.
What was the years? Oh, I don't know.
1894 to 1920. So, turn of the century, possibly World War One. He would have been 26 when he died in 1920, which would have put him right in. I mean, he'd have been in perfect age to have been World War One vet.
Yeah, definitely. So it's MC Battalion?
So the stories behind that
Medical
grave,
Corps.
the stories behind that grave were originally like the because of the chain link cross on the side of it, that it would grow a link every year.
Have you heard that story, Matt?
I don't think so.
For those of you that haven't heard the story, there is a gravestone from 1920 that has a ghost chain on it.
They've replaced it. So Purdue came out and they've tried to figure out what was causing it, right? And the original stone that you can see in the picture, it's the old base with a new stone. They took it, and no one ever figured out what was causing this. But the weird part is, when they put the new one up, it has the same cross. And it's a chain link cross
Yeah.
that goes, it just goes
So that's
to
what was on
side.
the old stone, and now it's on the
Yeah.
new stone.
Yeah.
But they,
Yeah,
didn't,
but the thing
they
is-
didn't put it on the new stone?
No,
So-
it showed up after that was put in.
Supposedly it changes.
Yeah, like
Like-
it's supposed to gain links and everything else, but that's impossible. It covers the entire side of the.
We should go do a podcast there.
I don't know. Graveyards they get weird when you go mess around after dark.
So I was just reading this thing about it. It says there's two different stories. One of them is that the guy was in the army. His girlfriend was waiting at home. He was killed in battle, and she stood across the road watching the burial from afar. And the chain is said to, I don't know how that ties the chain into anything, but the other one says the chain that the guy owned slaves, and the chain, like one slave beat him to death or something with the chain over his slave's wife, cursed the gravestone or some shit. So who knows what the real story is, but it is this very strange place.
So fun thing. Could be wrong about this, but Mitchell Library used to have a book in the adult section, which is not what you think it is in a library.
I was gonna say, man.
No, it's usually the
When
rare.
they open.
It's the rare or local, like the expensive or hard to replace books. The stuff they don't want kids coming in and playing with. So like
Right.
if you destroy a copy of Harry Potter, they might be upset with you, but they're not going to be real mad. You destroy a 250-year-old local.
So like, here's a dude that's commenting on it. And he said he grew up near there. Said John Pruitt was in World War One. Came home, went to work at a limestone quarry. The family never owned slaves. They were poor. Had a small farm. He knows his great nephew. His grandmother told him he died working at the quarry, strangled by a chain used to raise a stone. So there's that angle too. There's all kinds of stories, man, but
No, I'm sure.
it's legitimately there. That's the weird part about it. Why it's there, who knows?
Guess we could do that limestone talk at some point about why limestone is so strange in this area. That's actually a pretty interesting conversation. Giant karst belt with all this super high quality stone right here in Lawrence County. Do you know where the Hoosier Hills come from?
The bank?
No.
Oh.
No, the hills of the Hoosier land, man. The glaciers. Like, this was the end of them. All the old northern Indiana hills are now ground up into a slurry and pushed into caves down here. And we've got a shit ton of them. What are there, like 500 just in Lawrence County?
Yeah, you
And
more than
counting,
that.
probably.
Yeah, there's more than that. There's a lot. It's just insane.
There's a lot of them. I've been in, like, Somewhere near 10.
Me too.
Do you have any idea how many you've been in?
I have
It's
absolutely
hundreds.
no idea. Yeah,
I've been
But
in
a
maybe
lot.
like not even a handful.
I mean, probably. I have no idea, man. A few hundred, probably easy. Spent a lot of time underground.
Yeah. I mean, I would say relatively, I've spent a lot more than your average person. But it's probably into the maybe 100-hour range. Not into the tens of thousands.
Dude, I'm more comfortable underground than I am above ground. It's great. It's peaceful. There's nobody. It's so quiet.
Depending on
Turn
who
the light
I'm
off.
with. Like, if I'm with Dave, I don't usually care too much. I just enjoy the shit out of myself.
Like tight spaces and stuff, people freak out. Dude, it's totally mind over matter. It's just like anything else. It's mind over matter. If you sit there and you think about something, okay, that cave's been there for how many million years?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is going to happen today when you're in there that's going to change? Nothing.
Probably nothing, but my fear is getting my fat ass stuck.
So,
But if you got there, you can get out. That's the thing. Like, no matter
Yeah.
how you look at it.
Well,
Unless
I
you're
mean,
going down, which you
I'm worried
never
about
want
getting
to do.
stuck going in, you know?
Big-
Yeah,
biggest-
you're not going to get stuck.
as long as you don't panic.
You either fit or you
man,
don't.
Underground has a primal, like,
Yeah.
humans have a primal fear of being down there. Like,
I mean,
once you go down, you're not
especially
coming out.
comforting.
From the
Dude.
darkness, you know?
I find it super comforting. Like,
Yeah, but you're a
Yeah.
strange dude, Dave.
when we're doing work in there, you know, the people will find areas that are bigger. Like, you know, we'll come out of a crawlway and there'll be somewhere they can sit up, and that's where they'll go take their break or do whatever. I'll lay there in a tight crawlway. I don't care. I'll lay there all day long.
I don't mind laying on them, man. I don't like crawling. That shit
Yeah,
sucks.
I've been places
My
where I've crawled
femurs
for hours.
are like 6 inches longer than your average person, which means somebody that can normally crawl real easy, I'm dragging my knees through it.
Yeah, I've
Sucks.
crawled for hours and hours and places. It's
45-minute crawl is more than I want to do. I will. I'm going to knee pads next time.
I would recommend knee pads.
Knee
yeah,
pads, dude.
if
That
you
shit
like
was
walking.
trash. Yep.
But yeah, so Floyd, I don't know, man. He's got a weird grave with some weird.
So, I mean, but like,
knows?
it's been scientifically, nobody can figure out what the hell's going on with it.
Purdue did some work, and that somebody tried to do something. One of the students, and they never figured anything out.
That book at the Mitchell Library, it had a whole bunch of Indiana myths and legends in it. I don't know if it's still there or not. That thing would be fun to rent.
Man,
Just
there's a
through
lot
some
of
of
cool
them.
stuff like that in Indiana.
Just
Yeah.
make sure you don't damage
There's
anything.
the weird little kid's grave, Lester.
Well, I
up
assume
in
they have a lot of this in all the other states.
Step
too.
Cemetery. I couldn't think of the name of it. That's a weird place. You ever been there?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's a fun one. I'll take you there sometime. It's this weird little cemetery with this little baby's grave, and for whatever reason, for the longest time, people will have taken offerings and different things and laid them on the grave. Supposedly, the mom shows up. There's like this tree next to it, like a tree stump, and people see her sitting on it, like weeping for the baby and all this other stuff. But yeah, like it's been there. It's an old grave, but yeah, it's a interesting place.
Indiana's got a lot of, like, I'm sure every state does have a lot of ghost stories, but it seems like around here there's so many about death. Limestone, we had all the master carvers, so we've got all the amazing freaking headstones.
There's some really amazing architecture too.
The Empire State Building came from here.
Yeah, Empire Quarry.
The Washington Monument, wasn't it?
I think so.
Isn't there some of the like Lincoln Memorial as well?
There's,
Yeah.
most of them, man.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of them.
There's that one quarry, the one in Bloomington. Did you know they filled it in? What the fuck do you fill a quarry in with?
Backfill, probably.
Probably
You-
like all the slag and
Do you know how much that would
Sand and-
take?
Yeah.
I mean, those holes are insanely
I'm
huge.
just assuming
they've
they're
got
digging
a
another
lot
hole
of
somewhere
them.
else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what did you accomplish? You moved some dirt from over here to over there.
Landfill,
Now you got the
maybe?
same size hole over there.
Could they landfill them? You know how easy it would be to tarp and landfill an
They-
already dug? I shouldn't be giving anybody ideas.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, with all the water that typically ends up in the quarries, I don't know if I want to.
Tarp it.
How long is that
it'd be
going
pretty
to last?
gross. It'd be a mess.
Yeah, it'll be a matter of time before it turned into an issue. I'm sure.
Just like everything else. It's never a problem until it's a problem.
So where did the chain thing come from? Riddle me that.
Who knows, man?
So you already mentioned that they switched the headstone, right?
Yeah, that one's
So
not that old.
It couldn't be an internal, like if there was some imperfection in the rock that was showing through.
Totally new stone. Like, so picture like an 1800s gravestone from like the old limestone slab.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And when they replaced it, you saw that picture. I mean, it's a
Red
brand new.
granite.
It's one of the new ones. The red stone, shiny, polished. Thing's not very old.
I looked around pretty good for anything obvious. Like there were no chain shadows falling on it from like there's nothing.
No.
It's in the middle of an old.
And it doesn't. It's not like an indentation. There's no feeling. There's no texture at all to it.
It's just a dark spot.
It looks like a chain link cross. Who knows?
I mean, it looks like moisture of some kind.
I mean, there's nothing to drip on it, as opposed to any like.
And it's not typical
There's no
that
trees
a
near
stone
it.
sitting on top of another stone would be seeping water from somewhere.
No,
I can't imagine there'd be a spring or anything,
No way.
and it wouldn't push through granite.
No.
Especially that polished granite, it's impervious to water for 1,000 years probably before it finally loses the polish.
Unless there's some imperfection that ice could get into.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just the one gravestone.
Just
though?
the
There's
one.
There's just one.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
it would be something weird.
I don't know if I don't know, man. There's no explanation for that one.
I would love to know more.
Mm.
That's Orange County, right?
Yeah, I think it'd be Orange or Martin, right by between Orangeville and Huron, I guess area.
Stuff like that irritates me.
We could, when we get the video set up, we're gonna go do some spooky. We're
That'd
gonna
be fun.
go record in random places.
I saw something on Facebook that was really cool. It's an old asylum of some sort in Indiana where you can actually go and they'll give you equipment that you can use and
Oh, is it
ghost
Louisville?
hunt. No, it's in Indiana. I think it's
Central State?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'd have to look it up.
probably Central State. If it's in Indiana, that's the only one I could think of that would even be still capable of doing such a thing. Most of them have torn down or whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting though. Just take a group of people and go overnight and do your own whatever
I
investigation.
want to do all the investigations, but I don't really want to do them with cameras.
Yeah.
Like I just want to go do on-site spooky shit recording.
Yeah.
But we should go do real spooky shit with no cameras. How do you feel about an abandoned church, Matt?
Fine.
You gonna freak out if there's like the devil or something in there?
Well, probably. Are you not supposed to?
I might. I don't know.
I'd be a little concerned if the
Depends on which
devil
devil
shows up.
It depends on which one.
But did he bring his fiddle?
Or you
I feel like I can take him, dude.
I think it's a her. If she shows up, I'm down. I don't care. It's fine. If it's a dude like with goat horns and like all the stereotypical Baphomet shit,
See, I'm having a
pan
hard
looking
time with the
dude?
devil side of this, dude. Like, like really?
okay. What if God's there?
God, would fuck that.
What if your great grandma 3 times removed there telling you not to eat the cake?
Then I'm gonna not eat the cake. That's way different.
Like, what's it gonna hurt not to eat the cake?
Define-
I'm not gonna eat it. Fine.
Like, I mean, I don't know what your definition is of God and all this.
I
kind
don't.
of stuff,
That's what I don't know, man. I'm just saying, if it gets weird and you run away, it might be a bad idea.
I've always been a firm believer
Yeah.
of if you don't really know, like if you haven't done your research and
So there are
probably shouldn't have an
rules.
opinion on something.
There are
Right.
rules to going into abandoned churches.
Well, I mean, there should be rules going any place like that, whether it's a church or not. I mean, you should be, if you go into something like that, you should be prepared for anything.
Oh, I mean oddly specific. Like if you find something
It's cool.
on the
I'm a preacher.
altar,
Leave it.
you leave it.
Don't touch it.
You don't. You can touch it,
I wouldn't touch it.
but
No,
you don't
it's
take
cool.
it.
I'd
It's
point at
okay.
it, but hey, look at that.
I'm
Don't
a
touch that
preacher.
shit.
When you leave, if you
allowed
realize
to
you
touch it.
lost something, like you left your phone, you left your wallet, you never go back in a second
No.
time. Okay?
It's fine. I've got a certificate that says
Don't
I'm
take
a man of
anything
Jesus.
with you when you
Yeah.
leave.
Take what you take and leave what.
Take as little
Yeah,
as possible
don't-
with you, and don't take anything out with you.
Dude, I highly recommend not taking electrical devices. If you want to see anything weird, don't take a camera with it rolling, unless you want to piss it off. Whatever it is.
I'm down for that either way, man. I don't care.
Depends, man. I don't know. I'm not exactly
As
weirded
long as
out.
it's not
but
like
I
a
still,
dark, stormy night.
That would be cool though, right?
I'm all about it on a full moon.
Fuck around, maybe Jason would show up. Like, how'd this happen?
I'm not gonna say where the abandoned church I know is, but like, dude, it's a weird area,
Yeah.
in a haunted valley.
Yeah. You know, they say that like running water has an effect on stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, again, we're on top of all this limestone. With
So,
springs everywhere.
Here's a weird one. I'm not a religious or a afterlife ghosts and believe in all this kind of shit. Like that's just. I mean, I'm a very scientific person. It has to make sense to me.
I want to believe, man.
It has to make sense to me, right? But now I can tell you that on a trip, so one of the entrances in Lost River is in like a collapsed portion, and then one side of it is an old Indian quarry. And whenever we had gone in that entrance one day, and man, I swear on everything, and I even had a video of it sounded like an Indian talking. no idea. I mean, I heard it. The other people with me did not hear it, but I got it on video and everything. I got no explanation for that one.
Well, the way the human mind works is weird. A lot of times, like, your brain just associates things with what it already knows, or what you might already assume it could be.
Absolutely.
So it could be any number of things. And maybe they were hearing it too. They just associated it with something else.
Yeah. It was odd. And, I mean, it really... I thought I heard it in the moment, but then having afterwards reviewed video of it just to see, it was weird. It was strange. It wasn't ever like an uncomfortable feeling or anything like that. It was just weird noise.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Which, I don't mean to like take away from the experience or anything like that. It's just
I totally
explanations and stuff that I've heard and
I mean,
come across and things like that.
Absolutely. People, for sure, can disassociate it with another noise or...
It's just your brain trying to make sense of whatever it is.
When you're down there, though, there's not a whole lot of...
There is no noise.
Yeah.
Water is it, if you're somewhere where there's water.
Well, there's very rarely anything new. If there's a new noise, it's you or someone you're with.
Yeah.
Like, everything else is a constant drip, and it's been doing this.
Maybe a bat flapping through.
I could go into a cave...
Bats are completely silent. Like, if you hear one, something's strange.
If I could go into a cave and hide somewhere, and there is absolutely no way you could sneak up on me.
Yeah.
No way. Completely impossible.
Right.
I mean, it would just be impossible. There's just because the silence is...
So
it might not be completely silenced, but it's the same.
Silence is deafening.
Time.
Depending on who you're caving with, like, I like to talk and scream and things, but the people that cave silently, or mostly silently, your ears get turned up to a level of like, and then your eyes, if you walk straight back out into sunlight, like,
it's gonna hurt.
You go bat mode there after.
Yeah, I mean,
just
an
an hour or
16-hour trip. It's
long trips. You're gonna turn into a bat.
Yeah,
it's weird.
So
coming
hearing
outside,
things,
everything's loud and bright.
Yeah, you go underground, it's daylight, and you come out and it's daylight, but it's not the same day anymore.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
it's a strange way to spend a day or a night.
I like the constant of it. Like, there's no variable. Water is it.
Yeah.
Even
Water's
the
the one
mud's
thing.
clean.
The temperature's the same.
Like,
Everything in the cave, nothing changes. It's not like you're going to go in the cave, it's going to be different. You're going to have to go a different way.
Consistency of the mud.
Takes a
the
left
same.
turn instead of a right turn.
Yeah, it's the same. There might be 37 different ways to get there, but they're always going to be there, and they're always the same. It's always consistent. The sounds are the same. The smell's the same. The temperature's the same.
You're probably not going to find any brand new passages, like, over the course of your life.
Yeah, it takes a long time
Who's not?
to open a passage up like that.
No, I mean, like, if there wasn't an entrance there, there's not going to be one in 100 years. Like, the water is not going to cut new passage.
No, not like that, but there's a lot of stuff that there is underground that there is no opening. You know what I mean? So, like, you got water hitting rivers, and, like, I mean, we just did a dye trace in Corydon and put dye in 9 miles away, and it came out in the river and nowhere in between. It came out of a spring in the river. So, to go that far that fast, I mean, it did that in a day. So, to think there's got to be a huge void for that amount of water to be able to travel through that fast.
Mm-hmm.
So there's passages there that we just can't get in.
Yeah, till
Right.
the sinkhole opens.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or
Or you find a new sinkhole.
I blow it up.
That
Or
too.
you blow it up.
It's
Not that I
faster than
would
waiting
do
for a
that.
sinkhole.
That would be crazy.
I mean, it depends. Leave it to the experts.
What was the question?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Spooky shit.
Yeah.
No, limestone. So apparently it channels energies. You know, being surrounded by trillions of tons of it. Makes sense that there would be some strange shit in caves. Also, the fact that you're so far away from anyone else.
It's like being on the moon, dude. Straight up. Like, you know, when you're on trips and you're 8 hours into the cave, that's a 24-hour rescue if something were to happen. You know what I mean? It's going to take 24 hours to get you out of where you're at.
If they're lucky.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, some of the most caves aren't as big of an issue, but, like, with me spending time in Lost River, find me. You know what I mean? You've got 23 miles of cave to look in, and there's 4 or 5 people at most that even know their way around.
I would not go in Lost River without you. Like,
Without me?
Without Dave.
I wouldn't go without you, though.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you. I wouldn't start with Lost River, dude.
It's not bad, man. As long as
Yeah.
you know where you're going. If you don't,
It's
don't go
it's
that
a good way to never want to go cave again, unless he takes you on some super nice. Like I'm saying, start with a cave you might actually have a chance of remembering something in, because Lost River's sketch, dude. It's beautiful. I'm not saying it's not, but it's a good. If a normal person got in there and got turned around, do you think they ever find their way out, short of dumb luck?
No. I mean, no, absolutely.
You wander around in Lost River until you die in the dark.
No way, man.
I mean, walking into a cave and going whatever route, you turn around to go back, it looks completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So the entrances that we use to connect into, like, where Wesley Chapel Gulf is, for instance, is good luck. If you can figure that out, great. But that's also the most dangerous way to go in, because it's the one that's going to flood first. Mm-hmm. So if you went in that way and it rained within 144 square miles, then the water level in the cave goes up and you can't go back that way. Now, there is 2 other ways out. Do you know where they are? Maybe not. Probably not. Now, when you get there, what the fuck are you going to do at the gate? Because they're gated.
Yeah.
So you got nowhere to go. Now, the chances of being able to find one of those other ways out are slim to none for someone that hasn't done it, because these were other surface features that were dug into and connected into the cave. So it's not like it was an entrance to Lost River.
Right.
It was a completely separate cave that, through digging and whatever other means, was connected into there to make an easier entrance to get farther into the cave. I mean, that's really all they are. So, to go, you figure 23 miles of cave in a 1 mile by 1 3/4 mile footprint on the surface. It's a giant bowl of spaghetti. I mean,
It's terrifying.
You could walk the same way 6 times and not even realize you were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Get in one room that has 7, 9, 11 different holes pointing different directions.
Even different heights. So you're standing there, and like some of the passages, it would be chest level. It would normally be like something you would climb over in a cave and then just keep going, or go under, whatever you so chose to do.
Right.
Well, they go different places. So if you go up, it goes different places than if you went down. And, following the water. That's the other big thing from a caver standpoint, is you can follow the water. If you're going upstream on the way in, you're going to go downstream on the way out. Mm-hmm. Vice versa.
Until you get to a place where there's 2 streams meeting and going opposite directions from there.
Lost River, you're at one point you're walking upstream, and then you veer around the corner, and then you're going downstream. Because the water's actually coming in from somewhere that you can't even see, and is splitting off, and is completely going 2 separate ways. And then all of it sinks into a slot and disappears.
So the Dark Side of the Moon passage is made up of razor sharp, what are they called, scallops?
So that was a fucking terrible place.
It's basically where water is dripped out of the ceiling and poured a hole straight down. Mm-hmm. Some of these are 3 feet wide and 10, 12 feet deep. So you step in one and you might lose your shin, like razor sharp.
I hate it. It's the worst part of it. It's cool.
It's beautiful
because it's really pretty.
Yeah.
But walking through it,
you're talking hundreds of yards of bouncing on top of razor sharp scallops.
Is that why they call it the Dark Side of the Moon? Because you have to moonwalk across it.
The curves.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time when I'm in there, it's not recreational. It's in there to survey something or do something like, you know what I mean?
Dude, I enjoyed it one time. Well, twice. We went in and came back. I might have been in it 3 times, but I don't know that I would want to do it.
But walking through it, every single one of those things will twist your ankle, and then you're,
God forbid,
you're slamming into a razor sharp rock. I don't go through there and come out with 12 fucking bruises every time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible.
So that's what I love about the muddy passages. If you fall down, it's like falling in peanut butter. It kind of sucks. It kind of hurts, but you'll be fine. Hope you don't land on a rock.
That same passage, so it kind of gets split up by big piles of breakdown where sinkholes collapse on the surface, and you can't continue that way. So you find another way to get there. And so then that same part of the passage, the water didn't continue, so the passage isn't as big. Mm-hmm. So there's parts of that where you're like army crawling over the top of it, which is
that sounds terrible.
It's awful. I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, you crawl through there with knee pads or shin guards or anything like that?
Yeah, I use knee pads that go from, have almost all the way down my shin.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you got a pack that you got to figure out. It's not what are you gonna do with it?
Big old dry pack, I assume.
Yeah, usually something.
Yeah.
We use a Swago pack. It's designed specifically for caving. Big old rubber dry bag, basically.
Yeah.
They're amazing. It's made for cavers by cavers.
It's good for most stuff, but when you're in a passage that's small and tight enough to where you have to tie your pack around your ankle
and drag it
through there, but then the passage is made out of snaggy stuff that it gets caught every time. Not a lot of hope.
I bought a cheap dry bag one time just to see if it would work. It was sort of torpedo shaped. Like, the Swego's got a really great shape. This thing, I thought it would work. First trip in, I ripped it in half.
Yeah.
Got stuck on a rock.
What you bought was a dry bag for like kayaking or canoeing.
Yeah,
sort of.
Not for dragging
Well,
through a cave.
it was torpedo shaped, so I thought maybe it would drag. Well,
Yeah.
it didn't. It really didn't. I mean, it's like 20 some bucks. Swagos are 1 to 200, I think.
It's 150s. What the big one costs, I think.
Yeah, which I know sounds like a lot, but for specialized caving equipment, it's cheap. I mean, people spend more than that on a flashlight.
I just randomly thinking about the amount of money that I have invested in cave gear every time I walk into a cave is I try to think about it.
You can spend $150 on a pair of boots and appreciate having a $150 pair of boots in there.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably got between lights and helmets and packs and gear, I'm got $1,000 worth of stuff on me easy.
Yeah.
Easy. But
Well, I mean, it's engineered for a purpose.
and I have to have it.
Yeah.
Like it's a different environment. It's like most people would have absolutely no idea what it was until they were in a situation where, what are you gonna do if you don't have a light?
Yeah.
I don't care if you got a bag full of food.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do if you don't have a light?
Yeah.
It's
You're
terrifying.
never gonna get out. So I mean, I have hundreds of dollars in lights. If one goes out, I got more.
See, I cave like I do everything else. Super Spartan. I take a headlamp. Yeah, I usually try to have 2 lights.
Mm-hmm.
And my helmet, and a t-shirt, and yoga pants, and boots. It's fun. I don't take a bag. I just do dumb monkey shit the whole time.
Yeah.
But I also don't project cave. I recreational cave.
There's a big difference between a 4-hour trip that you're just kind of bouncing around having fun and a 16-hour trip where you're laying in the shitty passage for 8 hours
Yeah.
surveying station to station because, I mean, it
I don't do
sucks.
that. I'm not saying I wouldn't. It does sound kind of shitty, but
It sucks, but it's, how many places have you ever been that there's never been a human there? Because I've been a lot.
it's like pirate shit, putting your
Yeah.
name on maps and things.
I mean, where else are you going to go that no human being has ever been?
The bottom of the ocean or another planet.
That's it, yeah.
Maybe parts of Antarctica.
And it's exciting. That's what drives.
Dude, I mean, you're talking, it's a lot of work to get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Be the first one there. Or at
And
least,
to actually know you're the first one there, that's a different. You know what I mean? Finding a cave and it not being on record or something like that, there's
Yeah.
been people in there. I mean, it's not like you're the first person to
Hundreds of
stumble
years.
upon it. But when you can go into a cave and know that it was physically impossible prior to you working on what it was for anyone to continue any further and then find another 2 miles of passage behind it,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
or when there's a giant rock on top of it, it just happens to move in about 100 different directions.
Sometimes happens.
It does. Yeah, when those, then generally, like nobody else moved that 10-ton rock either until it disintegrated.
She's making gravel.
I don't know, man, lightning struck it.
Natural gravel. It's worth more than man-made gravel.
I mean, it was big rock, now it's little rocks.
Limestone.
Organic gravel.
Naturally sourced.
Non-GMO.
The Foo Fighters concert got canceled.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, aren't they on tour currently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was supposed
Probably
to go see him in
not anymore.
August. No, it's
It's
canceled.
unfortunate.
Yeah, super unfortunate.
I mean, he was 50?
50.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
Sucks,
a long
man.
time ago, I would think that was old,
Dude,
but
I mean, he's seriously one of the
nowadays-
greatest drummers of our generation.
Absolutely.
Like, he's the drummer for one of the greatest drummers of our generation.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine having Dave Grohl listen to every single note you play? And, like, he's not, I've never worked for him, but from what I hear, he's not a bad guy to work for.
he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. I mean, possibly Jesus. Like a white Jesus.
Something I didn't know was that when Alanis Morissette did her Jagged Little Pill album and then went on tour with it, he was the drummer for all that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Thought that was interesting.
Dude, that was a good album.
Oh, so good.
The 90s, man. Like, I'm not trying to be the fogey, but the 90s music. Maybe it's just because well,
The Fogey, I'm pretty sure we're probably both older than you are.
yeah, but I'm saying I don't want to
I'm
be
pushing
that
40.
jaded guy that's like, today's music sucks.
I'm only 22.
Some of today's music does suck.
It's been a rough 22 years. Sorry.
Caven's rough.
Dude, being alone in the dark makes you weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does sound nice though.
Dude, it's peaceful.
It depends.
I can sit in there all day long.
I bet that's good sleeping down there.
It's weird. It's real weird. You wake up you just wake up and you have no idea.
Am I blind? Are
Yeah.
my eyes open?
Well, even if there's light, man, because you have no idea what time of day it is. And I mean, when I say you have no idea, like you don't know if you were asleep for 5 minutes or 5 days. Mm-hmm. And then you come out of the cave and you're like, well, is it morning, noon?
What year is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's strange, man. And like with all the sensory deprivation, if you go in and do it right, like if you have time, you don't even have to be real deep down there. You could sleep 24 hours straight and not notice it. Nothing is going to wake you up.
No.
I would definitely plan it. Don't just go fall asleep and not tell anybody where you're at.
Why not?
Because that's when people
That's
like Dave.
dumb. That's why.
Well, people like Dave come and find you for whatever stupid ass reason you got lost in a cave.
Yeah,
and they're going to make fun of you the entire way out. If you didn't hurt yourself, seriously. Then they're going to make fun of you as they hurt you more getting you out of a cave.
Yeah, it won't be fun.
They'll probably be pissed off having to drag your broken leg ass
I
out
think
of the
they're
cave.
just kind of used to it at this
I
point.
mean, it's
like
never really, nobody really gets pissed off.
It's
unless
just-
it's stupidity.
it's
They're
just
just-
stupid.
Then that's just,
Man,
some people are just too stupid.
Do you do that very often? Having to go down and rescue? Or?
I mean, I don't.
People like
I
Dave.
have.
People
Well, yeah,
with
people like Dave,
absurd amounts of caving.
I don't pursue that angle of it as much as a lot of others do.
Dude, you got called to the Donahue rescue, which
Yeah.
was hilarious. I don't even know if we should tell.
How long ago was this?
Year or two. Dude,
mean, is
neither
it an
one of them were
open
hurt, right?
investigation
Like
or
they both
something?
came out themselves. They didn't
Yeah, they
realize.
snuck past us, dude.
Yeah.
In the cave?
No, so I got a call and we went down there. Conservation officers finally show up. We get everything ready. We go in the cave. And the story that we got was there was this couple that was in there. And the water levels had gone way up in the cave. Now, it's not that cave's not an issue from a water level standpoint. And it's not like if they drown in there, then they were too dumb to stand up or something. I'm not quite sure how you would do it, but I guess it's possible. But anyway, it was more concern of hypothermia. And this guy had drug in a camp stove and was going to make him dinner. So we're getting everything sorted on how we're going to go about this and go in and look for these people. We got a general idea of where they're at. And we go in. Well, we were parked on one side. Well, their car that they had parked was at a different spot. Somehow before, as we're gathering everything and getting up a game plan, they snuck past us and left, and we didn't know that. So we're in the cave looking for these people. Can't find them anywhere. At this point, we headed out of the cave because it's like, okay, well, there's no way that they were somewhere else, especially someone that didn't know the cave. There's no way they could have got somewhere else. So we came out, the car was gone. Well, come to find out, it was a married dude and some chick that he worked with that decided to go in there, and that was their romantic date night, skip work together and go have a cookout in a cave in a rainstorm.
Makes sense to me.
It's a perfect...
I mean, I can think of worse dates.
Until your name
I'm
gets
sure
put
it's
in
a
the
lasting
newspaper.
relationship.
Didn't they put names in the newspaper and stuff?
I mean, the conservation officers tracked the dude down and had a conversation. I'm sure it wasn't a secret from his wife.
Stupid.
And then, that cave is a shit show, dude. Like, it's
It's right there. I don't even know if it's
right. Not too long ago, there was another one that they'd got in there with their cell phone. That was the light that they had.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. It was a cell phone.
So this
dropped
is-
the phone.
This is a multi-mile system.
It's a decent
It's got-
sized cave, man.
Got at least 3 entrances.
Yeah, and they dropped their phone in the water, and the phone didn't work anymore. So then they were going to use their Bic lighter for their other light source, and then they were in there for 2 days, I think, before they finally figured out to go look there.
That's a cold cave. Like if you could stay
You had a big
dry.
lighter.
Hey,
I'll keep you warm.
hey, the best part is they were fucking maybe 10 minutes from the entrance. Like,
Yeah, but once you're lost, dude, you're lost. It doesn't matter. Everywhere you're walking's the wrong way. Unless
Well,
you just
when
get lucky.
how you gonna walk? You can't see where you're going.
Stumble.
Put your hands on the wall and hope you can follow it. Good luck, because there's a lot of ups and downs
I'd probably go hands and knees at that point.
in the
'Cause,
water.
I mean, if you got to, or sit down
Wouldn't
somewhere.
be too
That's
long
exactly
before you
what I would
couldn't
do.
feel anything anymore.
I'm gonna sit down. I don't lay down. Somebody else can.
I mean,
water?
most of the times when you're lost, you're supposed to just stay where you are and wait for rescue.
Especially in a cave, man.
The chance of falling off something, running into something.
Yeah.
Just you're making yourself harder to find. If I'm in there looking for you and you're moving and I'm moving,
You're not going to be moving fast in the dark for long. I mean, if you move fast for more than 2 or 3 steps, I guarantee you're going to end up hurt.
I mean, there's no point sitting there screaming. You might as well just sit down, shut up. That way...
If you're 10 minutes from the entrance, somebody might hear you. But
No way.
that cave specifically, no. You'd have to get so stupid lucky.
Nah, that's just like that one IU kid that got locked in the Sullivan cave for like 48 hours or something. They forgot about him.
God, that would not be a good time.
I want to do Sullivan.
Who's she?
Cave, Springville. It's gated too.
I made a
though,
joke.
so-
Don't worry about it. This is very funny. I'll explain it to you later.
Disclaimer number 2 for, what is this, episode 10?
Yeah.
Please don't fuck around in caves. Like,
No, that's just a bad idea.
if you're curious, call your local grotto. If you're not familiar, grotto is a caving organization. Most places have them. If they have caves, they probably got a grotto. Look them up. They'll get you, hopefully.
It's
Dude,
not hard, man.
so anybody
Sure,
can
they
get
know
you
how
in
to
a
use
cave.
people.
Anybody can get you in a cave, right?
Sure.
It's
There's a lot of people I would go with.
You got to go in with
Getting
somebody that
out
can
is
get you
the
out.
issue. Yeah.
That's the problem. I can take you in any cave you want to go in.
Yep.
Show me the entrance, I'll take you inside. But yeah, getting in there and then back out's the hard part. So seriously, you don't want to die alone in the dark. Find somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. Take the proper equipment. Have a game plan, preferably.
Tell people
Somebody
where you're
should
going.
know, yeah. You always somebody
So-
should know when you should be out.
I mean, I feel like at this point, if they find a grotto, if their grotto goes without out times and things, then that's not a grotto.
No, man.
Find a grotto, please.
Somebody should always know when you're coming out. And if they don't,
Multiple
if you don't
people.
come out, they should know who to call. It's as easy as that.
And if you go with a grotto, these will all be things you won't have to worry about. You'll be able to have a fun trip. And
The less you
can
know,
learn
the
as you go.
longer it's going to take. I mean,
Yeah.
period. So you go blindly and someone knows that you went in a cave. It's not very helpful.
I mean, it's better than
Narrows
nothing.
it down to, a couple thousand different places you could be.
Yeah, go with a grotto. Don't just go fuck around in there.
Plus, they know where all the cool shit is, and they can take you right to it.
And you don't have to get lost in the dark and die alone. It's terrifying, man.
Or maybe you do. Depends.
Depends on who you're with.
It's always an option. It just depends. Attitude is everything.
Tell us about the mead.
It's me. dude.
Fermented honey. It's delicious, and it gets you fucked up.
Yeah, what he said. I mean, I really don't know shit about it.
So, I mean, like you said, fermented honey. It's pretty.
Like, what do you want to know about it? I know some stuff. This is really good. Like, it's really clear.
Oh yeah, dude. It's
I mean, it's
There's very
professional.
little. Looks great.
So,
So this is a sizer, which means it's apple juice
yes.
and honey.
wasn't there another one?
Yeah, but I can't find it. I think I keep looking at the same 2 bottles.
NZ's
NZ's
gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's another sizer, but it also has oranges and cloves in it. Actually, that sounds pretty good too. But yeah.
Dave's place of employment is the most ADHD inspiring place I've ever been in my life.
Dude, it's great. It's like I go to work and they're like, "Oh, we need to go do some water sampling today. Would you like to get anything on tap while you're here?"
So there's a meadery, a hydrogeological survey headquarters. I don't know what you call it.
It's just that's really our lab, so it's where we do all like the dye trace.
There you go. It's the
work.
lab. So when I say it's a meadery, I mean not only do they have all the packaging and all of that stuff there, they make mead there. So it's all the tanks, all the sterilization equipment.
And it's hard to come by around here.
Yeah, especially now.
I mean, they
I
do.
don't understand why it's not more popular than it is.
They-
It's a really good drink.
They were pretty popular. I mean, it was COVID that drove them out of business, and it was just unsustainable for them to keep doing what they were doing.
But yeah, so the lab portion of it, there's hundreds of, what do you call them, specimen bottles.
It's insane because it's technically hazardous waste once we do our stuff on it because the chemicals that we put in it to extract the dye. The dye itself is completely safe. I mean, you can drink it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're putting it into the river.
Right,
So,
I mean,
yeah, it
it's
would have
food
to be.
grade dye.
Yeah.
But the process of extracting it from charcoal uses chemicals like nothing crazy, but then that becomes a hazardous material and has to be disposed of accordingly.
Yeah, there's just hundreds of them, which is awesome because, I mean, it's all sorts of different samples from all over the place. Like there's the Indiana karst belt just sitting on the table there.
Yeah, I mean, we do all the water quality sampling for the I-69 project from when they started that.
Yeah.
I mean, GM samples.
Yeah, they've had a lot of water issues, from what I understand.
Yeah, a couple. That place is special for lots of reasons. The foundries, they keep steel at the consistency of liquid water all the time. 3,500, 4,000 degrees. I mean, we're not talking little baby, like this stuff melts human bodies. You've seen Terminator 2?
Yeah.
You're talking large vats of liquid steel.
The only scary place I've ever been would be a coal power plant.
Coal mines are fun.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm talking the big new ones, not those California 1860 shits.
Oh, not the black lung.
You're still supposed to have a respirator, but you're supposed to have a respirator in pretty much any
People
mine.
die in those things all the time. That's I'm good.
Yeah.
Man-made spaces are not for underground use. Bad idea.
This one, Southern Indiana, they just drive the thing into the wall. Like literally, a guy stands 30 feet behind it and drives it into a wall. And
There's a
it's
fucking
big chipper.
warehouse. Marengo, you know about that?
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, this thing's huge. Garage doors on the side of a rock face.
Yeah. I mean, so I used to work for a conveyor company that worked with the corrugated paper industry. And there were entire plants making cardboard underground in a cave system.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, it's really cool. It's a real pain in the ass to draw
Yeah.
their facility
Yeah.
because it's just carved out of stone. So there's
Right.
no exact
Yeah.
dimensions between these big pillars and stuff.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, that one down
There's
they're
practically
driving,
whole cities underneath.
you're driving semi
like a
trucks around
McDonald's.
through there. They stored
Yeah.
tires in there for a while. I think they grew tomatoes in there. Hydroponic tomatoes.
It's crazy. Humans fuck with too much shit.
See, right? You shouldn't alter things. It's a bad idea.
And that brings us to God. So Dave is an ordained minister, if you didn't know.
This goes
Amongst-
back to the comment I made a while ago about if you really want to have an opinion on something, you should know about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
should be educated before you have an opinion, because it's an uneducated opinion is just it's kind of dumb. Doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, even an educated opinion, most of the time, is still pretty stupid.
Well,
You learn just enough to know what you think you know. I find the more education I get, the dumber I feel.
I
Just
just had to
know more
understand.
things I don't know.
I just had to understand, man. So that's the whole reason I did it.
Well, that's why
I mean,
ignorance
I'm
is
not-
bliss.
It's true, but that's Luciferian shit.
The more you know, the more unhappy you are.
This is true.
Agnosticism.
Yeah.
This is true.
So what is God, Dave? What does Dave's God look like?
To me, I mean, that's a. I don't have an answer for that one, man. I don't believe in such a thing. There's a lot of different angles to look at that at, you know, and then you got the religious side and do it. Am I religious? In no way, shape, or form. No, I'm not. That's far-fetched for me.
But you've read the Bible.
I obviously have, yes.
Yes. So I think that's where most people consider themselves Christians and have no problems with it because they've never read that Bible.
You
They've
can't
just-
pick and choose. You either do it all or you don't do
Exactly.
it.
So they quote the parts they like, and they've never read the part.
If someone followed the Bible the way that it's written, it would be complete insanity. Like, just some of the stuff is just so far-fetched, it's crazy.
And then, not to mention all the contradictions between the Old Testament and the New
Yeah,
Testament.
you can't read, like, what is this New Testament? How'd that work? You
Okay.
decided you needed to update it?
Well, all the Old Testament was all the fury and
So
smiting, and
Sure, yeah.
the New Testament was all about the love and
we got distracted with the Bible. We were talking about God.
fair.
Well, no, I brought up God from that angle, so that's
Well,
what
yeah,
I was saying.
that's
You know,
part of
is that part of the God that you're thinking of, or is
But what
that
is-
some kind of higher power?
What does the Bible say about God specifically? God is. That means everything. Good, bad. God is the universe as we know it. Everything. All of it. Now, is there some consciousness, some greater consciousness behind that? That's what the rest of the book is about, I think, sort of. But as
In
far
theory,
as just
I guess, yeah, sure.
God in general is a he, is a she, is you, is that plate.
God's a cruel bastard, though, or something.
The universe, yeah. So I like to look at it as the universe. There are definitely bigger powers than myself in
But
this
what
universe.
is we're talking about God. So what does God do? What does that
Everything.
mean? So God, that's fucking terrible. What a dick.
No, you're putting a consciousnness to it.
No,
like
not
there
at
is
all.
no.
But if God is responsible for everything that happens, then
No,
it seems like
no, God is not. God is not. I guess is responsible, but is everything. So like
Yeah.
when two people fight, that's
You're a
God
dick.
fighting God.
Now we're back to cancer. What a dick, right?
Well,
Well, yeah,
I think that's God fighting God so
it
much
is
as it is.
an aspect, a portion, one small piece of the entire puzzle.
I think there's just two people duking it out.
But God is each person. God is. God is not. God is both people, but not. That's what I'm saying. There is no. I don't think there is a greater consciousness of like the God thing. Unless you're talking like maybe some ancient like.
Dude, the only negative things that are going to happen to me based on my actions would be totally unrelated to any kind of higher power or God. Like there's the criminal justice system, somebody beating the shit out of me. Those are the repercussions I'm going to have.
What about karma though? Do you believe in karma?
No.
I fully believe in karma.
No way, man. I believe in logic and science.
Dude, there's too much stuff that can't be explained at this point.
Then
Too
it's
much
not
stuff
real.
I don't know. Aliens and shit, man.
I'm not saying you'd have to be a fucking idiot to think that the aliens didn't exist. You know what I mean? It's just,
As vast as the universe
it's
is.
just unfathomable. They're probably smarter than us. That's why they don't fucking come here.
Okay, so do you think there's one
It's the trailer park of the universe.
Yeah.
We're going to go around.
Yeah, lock the doors, guys.
So-
Earth's over here.
Okay, say, I don't know, a million years ago, 100 million years ago, it doesn't really matter. Some super intelligent, like I'm talking smarter than the entire human race collectively. They came in and just gave us some answers, fucked with things a little bit, and then just went on. Would that
Depends
be
on who
God?
they gave the information to.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Have you ever played telephone? You pass it through enough ears, it's gonna get fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Especially around. It's,
Depending on who you're
tell
playing
them,
with. That's the one person I would be confident that would recite every word perfectly. Grab somebody tweaking and just be like, if you forget these words, you're gonna die. Whatever you say next is
I
gonna
will
be
give you
remembered.
2 bumps next time you come over. Do your word for word. Do be back in 10 minutes.
I told him, boss. I told him. What a shitty drug, man.
Anyway, man, so God. So, I mean, science, right? Like, when you look at scientifically, like things that are possible and impossible, how can you justify
so-
impossibilities?
The problem with science is things that are impossible today in 20 years will be possibly mainstream. So like science, you're
Sure,
talking
yeah.
the cutting edge.
Technology.
But it's
But you're talking technology.
sort of.
Human innovation.
Yeah,
Sure.
But I mean, that's what humans do. That's the only real gift to our intellect. I'm not saying we haven't grown 6 inches over the last 200 years or some shit, but like a tiger's still going to eat a human without technology.
Totally agree with that.
Like you can have 2 really fancy knives and you're still not beating a tiger.
But there's no higher power that's going to generate more technology than whatever his name is over in the lab with the glasses I mentioned a while ago.
Maybe we just don't know about said technologies.
Well, I mean, that's possible, but to me, like, it's no different than like choosing a movie to watch. If I'm going to sit down and there's no possible way the things in that movie could happen, I got no interest. Like, it just, I totally lose interest in it instantly. I'm out. I got better shit to do.
So I think
Not a Star Wars fan?
No.
Dave needs to see more weird shit.
Dude, unexplainable things to me I'm not saying, there's always a reason. There's a reason for every fucking thing ever, period. There always is a reason. Now, what are you going to be able to figure out what that reason is, or are you going to come up with a reason? Because that's 2 different things.
Possibly. I mean, at this point, most of the cutting edge science is all just our best guess.
It's absolutely what it is.
Like that's why I
Trial and
like
error.
theoretical physics so much, because like you can tell me what the smart people think, and then I can tell you my opinion, and it doesn't really matter which one you pick, because they can't prove their shit any more than I can.
Yeah.
Well, sort of, maybe. I mean, I don't know if there's really proving the greatest of the thoughts.
I mean, I'm just a logical person. If something doesn't make sense, then I'm out.
I really like the things that don't make sense. Unfortunately, I can usually see through them. Like, you go in some of the famous haunted houses and you can tell there's just a guy downstairs knocking on shit.
I've been a lot of places and seen a lot of things, and I've never had any weird ghost attack me or anything.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if they can attack you.
Well, obviously not, man. How many people have you seen die of ghost attacks?
I mean, I'm not saying I
Because
haven't
if you
seen any.
can, I mean, believe me, dude, I'm fucking, that sounds fun.
Dude, so
I'm in.
how many old people you think are like straight losing their mind and seeing shit and talking to things in the corner, and then whether it's really there or not, they have a heart attack from being so fucking scared of it. They just died from said thing. Maybe they don't kill you with like conventional. Maybe they do, and there's a giant government cover up.
See, but
Like
that's
the
not,
dinosaurs.
I don't care. I don't really, like, it doesn't scare me. I'm not intimidated by that angle of things. Like, whatever. God, like, what happens when you die? Like, it's good.
Oh, I'm curious.
Maybe you fucking bury me.
I'm not to that point yet, though.
Am I worried about an afterlife, or am I worried about my decisions now being just something in some eternal whatever?
Oh, I really don't care either way.
We're getting back to the Fool's Dilemma now, too.
Yeah,
A little bit.
God.
Oh, dude, that's a fun one.
I mean, if there's no afterlife or heaven.
I mean, there's definitely an afterlife. Now, whether or not you have any consciousness in it, who gives a shit?
What do you mean there's an afterlife? What is it? Help me understand.
Worst case scenario, it's your body laying there until it decomposes, and then you turn into worms and things.
But you're not conscious of that.
Yeah,
You're not in
exactly.
there.
There might
You're
not be any consciousness at all involved. I have no idea, but there is something after your life.
I guess you sprout a fucking plant, sure.
Maybe. I mean, you might be a beautiful tree in
Or
500
someone
years.
could turn you into a record for your family or a piece of jewelry or something.
Yeah, I mean,
They do all kinds of
You
fun
choose
stuff with
whatever
your
you-
remains these days.
you go write your living will and tell them what you want your afterlife to be. That's
Turn
the only
yourself
one I
into
can
a
promise.
Maybe
you.
a chair. Maybe a chair, like, people gotta come in and sit
I'm sure
on
they
it.
can do it, yeah.
That'd be fucking cool. Let's
Be some kind of composite with your ashes
Yeah.
mixed in.
Yeah, gotta be a chair.
Have you seen How High?
Yeah.
Ivory.
There was I don't remember where or who it was, but they were talking about they want to be cremated and have their ashes spread over a wheat field. Then with the wheat harvested from that field, make a cake and then like serve it to all their friends and family.
Fuck that shit. That's weird.
That is weird.
It's a little weird.
They
I don't
start
remember
seeing
what that
him.
was from.
Did they start seeing him?
Hmm?
Have you seen How High?
No, I don't think so.
Method Man and Redman's best friend Ivory. Well, no, it's Method Man's best friend. But anyway, he dies. They cremate him and grow a plant with him.
That's the thing too.
And when they smoke him, he shows up and gives them all the answers to everything. And they end up going to Harvard. That's hilarious. You should
That
check it
does
out.
sound pretty funny.
It's really
it's a pretty
funny.
comical movie.
It's got Method Man and Redman. Anyway, so what if most of the gods are just aliens? That Monkey King from India dude, like that dude's an alien. Apollo in his sky chariot.
So, all these gods you're mentioning, though, man, your Greek mythology and all this other stuff, man, that's a literal propaganda to make people lead a certain direction or look a certain way or believe a certain thing. It's no more than that.
Yeah, so the Old Testament would be your getting your pagans to stop raping and murdering each other, and your New Testament would be to go from small villages to big towns. Civilization's easier to keep track of. But all of the old myths and legends, including Christianity, they all have the same stories. So what about canonization? When they make people into saints in the Catholic Church, they have to perform miracles. These are things that the Catholic Church has investigated and cannot
Okay.
or will
Can I-
not.
What do you consider a miracle?
Just said Catholic Church. Let's just start there. Like, there's the
Okay.
first fucking problem.
Okay, so I get it, but how many other places have the finance to run a full, gigantic observatory for no reason other than they're just curious? They can point that thing anywhere they want. They don't have to run a grid. They just look at
How
this.
many, well,
I get it. They've got their problems and they're not to be trusted.
Scientologists?
they're
Fair.
fucking weirdos. Wow, that's a whole other fucking
That's a whole. Put that on the whiteboard. Scientology.
But
And
yeah,
Mormons.
so I mean, where do they get the funds? Is that what you said? From
No,
dumb
I'm saying-
motherfuckers when they pass the
No, I'm saying
offering
who else
bill.
has the funds? Like these people have the money to throw at investigation,
That's because
and they
it's
try.
because stupid people gave it to them, man. It's
Well,
not because they did something for it
yeah,
or
well,
somehow.
that's
It's
fine. They're
dumbass
really-
people that believe some bullshit that
Cream.
somebody said.
They're good at the job.
The Bible says you're supposed to tithe 10%.
Yeah,
Okay, regardless.
don't worry about little Billy's wiener.
So these guys have the money to send an expert out to discredit exorcisms, stigmata, all of the phenomenon. They pay people to do this, professionals. And I get it. How do you become? By doing it. Like anything else, you become professional by doing it. So canonization, the miracles, they have a list of them. You could probably look it up.
It's bullshit.
Will at some point.
I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy that's like close.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like if it was easily disprovable, the Catholic Church would have done it.
But we're looking at the Catholic side of it right now. Look at all the other angles. Look at the fucking blow yourself up and you get how many virgins and what the fuck is that logic?
Okay, you're talking martyrs, which is an extreme version.
But it's still a religion.
Yeah.
But is it any more extreme? It's extreme in somebody's eyes that doesn't see that. But what if that's the normalcy to them?
So you're talking about the 1% of a religion. 99% of your Islamic people are going to be just like 99% of your Catholic. Generally pretty mild.
Absolutely. I'm
so-
not trying to classify that, and that wasn't the direction I meant by that in any way, shape, or form. But what I'm saying is you got so many different religions that have so many different beliefs that are so drastically different.
But so that's the cool part about the canonization process. The miracle has to be, it's almost like one of those self-evident truths. Like, this was obviously a miracle. It cannot be explained by science. It had to have been done by this cert. Now, they do give, like, well, it hadn't rained for 3 weeks and this was going to happen. And they'll be like, well, thank you, whoever is getting ready to be canonized. So
Thanks
some
for
of them are
taking one for the
bullshit.
team, little Bobby.
Yeah.
Some of them are bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like the religion, the God thing, the higher power, all that. It's just such a fucking. People are so far all over the place with it. You got one extreme to another to like what doesn't seem like an extreme to some is completely out just whacked out to others.
So, you know how stupid the average group of people are.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Without
The bigger the
religion,
group, the dumber they are.
You
without-
been to Walmart?
without religion, can these people function in any form of civilization? Like, most of these people have no moral compass of their own. They don't do things because they were told not to do them. And that's why we get into this crazy shit addiction. Because once you figure out that, like, some things aren't as bad as you were told your entire life, then you just figure, well, they lied to me about everything.
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen Jesus save anybody. Now, physically.
Yeah, if you're talking in a literal form, yeah, obviously.
Right. I mean, that goes back to it's all in, it's in your head, man.
Yeah, some people...
You create whatever you want it to be.
Okay, so say you're one of those weak-minded people that can't survive life, and you have to find the way to not want to shoot yourself.
If given, Reverend Bob $30 every Sunday is what does that for you, then
For some people, I think it really does.
great, man.
God says I need a pool for my mansion.
And true.
So-
Yeah. He told me because I want to swim too.
Okay. So, I don't know, maybe you have to be one of the big ones, the Joel Osteens or something, to get away with taking stupid people's money as a religion.
Profit church that you have to file legal work with. I mean, does that just make it not a church anymore?
No, it's a church. You can do
But there's
non-profits
supposed to
too,
be a
and you don't have to
separation.
do
There's no
anything.
separation there. There's
Oh, I'll just be the religion, I'm not. But it'll be a legal corporate entity.
Seems like a federal prison sentence.
Dude, you
That's
can,
not
print,
church,
you
that's
can
a
print
business.
it out online. Like, as long as you do the paperwork, you jump through the
I can
government's
print a
hoops,
lot
they're
of
cool
shit out
with it.
online, dude. but
Yeah,
that's-
and fill it out, and you
Yeah.
submit it to the government, and you tell them I'm starting a religion, and they say, okay. Make
Well,
sure
yeah, there's
you
a
pay your
church of
tax.
weed.
Yeah, and
In
it's not that
Indy.
hard to start.
Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want.
It's
That's
not that
that's the religious. I forget what Indiana passed. They passed this weird law.
the Religious Rights Act. or
Yeah, I think
like
something like that.
Okay,
and that's
well-
you can be dude. You can have the church of elephants. and that's fine.
Congratulations.
that? I think they passed
Paperwork-
that so that Muslims asking for a wedding cake for their wedding, and then the white people can say no, go to a different store.
Yeah, that's. Yeah,
So they
it's a
passed the
federal
Religious
law.
Act.
Okay, so Dave's now in charge of all the paperwork for the church.
God damn it! I'm the one going to prison now.
You can put Matt's name on whatever you want.
No, you can't.
This is terrible,
This is why I'm not in charge of things.
especially church.
Dude, I will have the paperwork emailed to you. You can look it over.
This is not good.
We'll just put everything under a shell company out in the wherever it is
Caymans?
they do that. There we
Blame it on a
go.
Russian oligarch. They'll
Yeah.
believe it.
You know
Put
you're
Putin's
allowed.
name on it.
Do you know you're allowed to go and like pirate his boats right now?
Dude, they're
Yeah.
seizing all kinds of Russian boats.
They don't know what to do with them now.
They're like, and dude, these boats are no joke, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
you're talking.
huge fucking
Did you
yachts,
see
man.
that sailboat?
No, but I've seen like a huge ass yacht that was in port somewhere.
I mean, this sailboat, it's the biggest sailboat ever. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some pretty big sailboats.
Well, it was like
The biggest one you've
$178
seen,
million.
this one's bigger.
Yeah, it's insane. I forget what it was. They seized 2 boats from the guy.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous what the people over there have to go through while he's got all this shit.
I can't believe. So, the intimidation factor that the Russian military has always had.
It's just numbers.
But, dude, they went to Afghanistan
Well,
and they got
and
their ass handed to
weapons.
them.
Yeah.
They've gone to Ukraine. Ukraine just, I don't know if you just saw that, but they literally decimated their top tank squadron. Like,
They've
just
got
fucking
farmers coming in with the
annihilated
tractors and hauling them
them.
off. Yeah.
I mean, they're wrecking these people.
So I think what you're seeing in Ukraine is the conscript army. Mm-hmm. They sent them with the cheap shit. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't care what they lost.
But
in this-
okay, so when you look at like a picture and I see like tactically, okay, I see a picture and I see a row that is 17 fucking miles long of a convoy. That's you know how many smiles that would put on people's faces flying aircraft?
Okay, but the problem is.
That's a warthog's wet dream.
I
So-
mean, it's over.
So
It's
this
over.
this isn't conventional
Brr.
warfare still though. We're
No.
talking like thermobaric bombs.
Yeah.
The threat of nukes is obviously like the
But
deterrent.
so I mean, I'm not saying that America should be involved. There's that whole world
Well,
peace thing.
any of
But
the
man,
countries.
don't go killing fucking people. That's crazy.
So right now, the last I saw, which has been a week or two, there were only like 800 civilian deaths. Which I say only, but you're talking full scale war.
Dude,
They are annexing a country, and they've
Those-
only had
They're
800.
targeting
Like
civilians.
America, you know how many in the war on terror? Do you know how many civilians American has killed?
No, it's
Oh, yeah.
Look that one up sometime.
Yeah, that's a whole.
I don't know if you could even find a real number, but if you can,
You can really
you'll be amazed.
You're gonna
You'll
find
Well, I don't know if it's
astounding
how
number.
real of a number it is, but
You're gonna find an astounding number, but
Yes.
it's a real number. Hell no.
I don't.
What's the difference
Guarantee
between
it's
a
more.
kill and a confirmed kill?
There isn't one.
But on paper there is.
Eh. I mean, most of those numbers never get written down. They might get screamed over radio at some point, and somebody logs them somewhere, but it never makes it anywhere.
I mean, those Ukrainians, dude, they got that president. He's great. I don't need a ride. I don't need bullets.
it's crazy how Putin lives his life too. Like he has people that taste his food before he does to see if it's poison.
Dude, he was KGB in the 70s.
Like
Yeah,
nobody comes anywhere near him because he's just so paranoid that everybody's trying to kill him.
He was KGB in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, everybody's killable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, nobody's invincible.
Putin would be hard. You're talking like world-class stuff to get rid of him. I'm sure people have been... You know why he's so paranoid?
But it
For-
wouldn't.
Everybody on the planet's one of
People
them
are
dead
trying
for-
to kill him.
How close do you need to get with a laser-guided bomb? All you need to do is know where the dude is.
I don't know how easy it is to even know where he is.
I mean, it
I'm
just
told
takes
his
one
body
time.
doubles.
I mean, there
how
was-
long did it take us to find fucking Bin Laden?
There's one interview where he was talking about how he's saying that like he is out and like not in hiding or anything like that. And when he's talking, he's moving his hands around, you know, while he's talking, and it goes right through the microphone.
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
times. And it's obviously green screen, but yeah, it's
I mean,
fucking crazy.
sure, it might take a while, but I'm just saying, how long did it take to fly?
If you had the entire...
crash a
like,
helicopter into Bin Laden's house?
they're trying to do it without anybody knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody wants to be the one that publicly assassinated a foreign leader. I don't trust the shit they say on CNN. He might be a decent dude.
I don't care. Fuck that guy.
So what happens when you cut the head off a prison gang? You got 9 idiots trying to be the new head.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, can you imagine the shitstorm that would pop up in Russia if Putin died? Like, president dies here, I mean, obviously even a shitty one, like, that's going to throw the U.S. into chaos. Look what happened with all of the previous even attempts. Because, oh my God, our president's not safe. We're not safe.
How many times have we killed the head of the Taliban?
Does anybody even care anymore? That one...
I mean, yeah, people care, that's for sure. But
Well, no, I'm saying, like, there's just going to be another one.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not getting rid of the Taliban.
That's what I'm saying. It's like at least every month
ever seen
or
a dog
two you
chase his
hear
tail?
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're fighting an ideal over there. Like, we're in a religious war, which is, you're not going to win.
Dude, those guys have been
Congratulations.
at war since, like, sticks and stones.
Yeah.
Crusades, man.
We don't need to step
Oh,
into
God,
that. Like,
fucking
that's you.
crusades.
That's you do that. Go have fun.
So the Sunnis, the Shiites, they're both different levels of Islam, right? Like, Sunnis are the super devout, and
Yeah.
I think I might have this backward, but Shiites are like less, and that's why they're at war, because the devout think that they all, like, you're an infidel, you're a non-believer, you don't follow the scripts as they were written, so you deserve to die because you're wrong.
That's Old Testament shit, man.
Yeah.
But they also have this. The same people that have those beliefs also have beliefs of different things. Like if you come across like that fucking Marcus Luttrell dude. The only reason that guy's alive is because of those people and their beliefs. Their beliefs were that if they came across somebody like that they had to protect him with their lives. And that's exactly what the fuck they did. So as crazy as it is on one angle, it's crazy on the other one too. Like
I mean,
their beliefs are...
It's extreme. It's definitely extreme.
It's crazy.
Well, you're still talking, like, I don't want to call it Old Testament because the Quran obviously is like the newest of
Yeah.
the new, but it's definitely much more. It's not even eye for an eye, like it's a hand for stealing. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I mean, tribal, like, you cut somebody's hand off for stealing from you, they're probably not going to do it again. If they do it again, I think you just kill them. Like, it's no second hand. Like, you get
Right.
you get the first chance, and then I guess if you want to call that a chance,
It's 2022. You just get your little robotic hand.
That's right, yeah. You can buy shit on
Probably.
eBay.
you really can't. I don't know if they're any good yet, but
I
They're probably expensive
The good
for a
ones
good
are
one.
expensive and they're pretty, I don't want to say basic, obviously. It's pretty advanced, but
it's not Star Wars advanced yet.
no.
Fucking give me a hook, dude. You're like a pirate.
I like my
Wearing
hands,
iPads
man.
and shit.
I like all my body parts. I'd rather keep them.
No,
Freak
I mean,
out the
I-
kids at the store and shit. That'd be
It's,
fun.
there's been a lot of times where I've been like, wish I was like a Lego person where I could pop my arm off and put it back on later.
Cybernetic.
But, I
Dude,
like to
it's
keep it.
2022, man. We're just entering the roaring 20s. Give it some time. If for some reason the system keeps going,
I mean, the way technology has been advancing for the past 40 years,
Yeah.
it's
I wish we invested as a species more in medical science, less in how to kill people and more in how to
But
turn them into
There's
robots.
That's no
there's
profit.
more money in that.
Yeah, now you're getting back into that. That's fucking.
It's all about
everything
money.
is for profit. You can't. Are you gonna make more money curing someone of cancer or treating someone's cancer?
Depends.
No, it doesn't at all. Because you can treat that person for years.
Government's going to give me a couple $1 billion for a few missiles. What am I going to get for the cure to cancer?
I mean, it depends on how you're looking at it. If you're talking like your own personal quality of life, I would think a lot of healthy people not trying to hurt each other would be where you'd want to live.
But everything is for profit.
But if you'd rather be a billionaire in this shitty system, I guess I kind of get it.
Dude, my kids go to
How
school.
much money do you lose if you cure cancer? You'll get money for curing the
depends.
cancer, but
If
then
you're-
nobody else gets cancer anymore, and now you're not making money off the
If you're-
cancer.
Exactly. It's no like my kids go to fucking school. It's the schools are for profit. The criminal justice system is for profit. The fucking everything is for profit.
Insurance.
Everything is designed to make money. And whenever you're taking, education into that, and you're putting your children in a situation where you're using them to drive revenue and money is insane. And the criminal justice system, you're
They
literally
protect the rich.
yeah.
I mean, like we were talking about last time with what's her face from
Oh, Ghislaine.
Epstein's secretary.
Mm-hmm.
All the shit that's redacted, they're protecting rich people.
Absolutely.
Everything's
If some random asshole like one of us goes into court for the same shit, they're not going to redact anything. They're going to get every bit of information out of you they can.
Public knowledge, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But we're not rich.
even the poor ones seem to be protected
And our
in the
friends aren't
system.
rich.
Everything's for
that bullshit
profit.
is-
That's all I know, man. Like if there's not money being made on it, they're not doing it.
Guilty or
Cream.
innocence doesn't matter.
Cream.
It's all about money.
Cash rules everything around me.
Hmm.
Get the money.
That's what makes the world go around.
Money is power.
It's gross.
First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Yeah, fuck all them things. I was climbing a hole.
I'm good. Just give me all the money. I'll build Legos.
More money, more problems.
Brew meat or something. Amuse myself.
I could amuse the shit out of myself. I wish I was a billionaire. I'd have so
I mean-
many ADHD hobbies.
People say
I would give all my money away to people. That'd be
people
my
still
problem.
say that
why I
money
need a
can't
billion.
buy you happiness, and that's bullshit.
Oh,
Like
sure.
a jet ski.
Jet ski's fun as hell,
You ever seen anybody pissed off on a jet ski?
right?
Just saying.
I mean, yes, money can buy you happiness. If you live your life, you don't have to worry about bills,
So
not having something that you want.
that's the problem. I think.
Nothing's unobtainable to you.
There are too many incredibly wealthy people that are still racked, but it's all relative. I think like most people who have money and are not happy probably have had money for a long time and thought it was going to bring them happiness, and it didn't. But generally, it's because you got to do some pretty shitty things to get a bunch of money in this
Yeah.
day and age. I think.
Well,
Or
not
get
only
lucky.
that, but I mean, if you just think about everything in general, something that entertains you now isn't necessarily going to entertain you later. And when you have expensive hobbies and you have to change your hobbies for entertainment purposes because you can, because you're filthy rich.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
I need boats. I don't like boats
Dude,
anymore. I think I need a plane.
I really would. I could do that.
It's not like this stuff gets more valuable over time either. I mean, that's like somebody buying an old car and they put a bunch of new shit into it, and then they want to turn around and sell it.
Here's
All that work you put into it doesn't.
No, here's one that's even
Improvement.
worse to me. This is one that I can't wrap my head around. So you're gonna go out to a Mercedes dealership and you're gonna spend $150,000 on this top-notch, high-end Mercedes. Okay, because you're gonna drive that for 2 years and then sell it for 40. Was it worth $55,000 a year
No.
to drive around in that car? That's insane,
If you have billions, then yes. Who gives a shit?
dude. I would. I'm sorry.
That's why they have so
Well,
many.
leasing's a little different like that because you pay that monthly
Yeah.
thing that's not bad, and then you take
Sure.
it back and you just switch to lease a new car. You don't have to pay for that car, which is nice. But there's
Till you go over miles or
exactly
yeah.
there's
You're
all these other ways that
limited
they
and-
screw you out of whatever.
Yeah, people.
And plus, like I leased once, and it drove me insane. I was so paranoid something
Yeah.
would happen to the car,
Yeah.
and I'd have to pay out the ass for it.
I considered doing that a bunch of times, but I was driving like 50,000+ miles a year,
Yeah,
and there was no way.
no. I mean, I had a high mile lease because I was going back and forth a half hour every day for work, and I had to stop driving it towards the end of the lease because I was so close to miles, so I couldn't drive it anymore. But I'm still paying for it. What good is it? It was not the best experience, but I learned from it, so I guess it's not that terrible of an experience.
Tuesdays.
It's the day after Monday,
I
the
got
day
nothing.
before Wednesday.
Dave, sing us out.
Fuck, I can't help.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Have a nice Tuesday. Oh, I'm told you should start dropping these on Tuesdays.
I think I know who told you that.
Yeah.
I heard the same thing.
So, have a nice Tuesday, folks.
See you next
Tuesday's a great
Tuesday.
day.
Sometimes.
It's better than Monday.
They're wild for me, usually.
Bye.
Bye.
Say bye, Dave, again.
Bye, Dave.